Yeah, hello. In this module, we'll be talking about uh, estimate activity resources. So there are actually two types of estimation if you really look at. The next process is estimate activity duration, whereas here we are dealing with the estimate activity resources. So upon completion of this module, one should be able to differentiate between the effort and duration. Even highly experienced senior managers sometimes, okay, no, they are not very clear about the difference between effort and duration. Uh, yeah, at the end of this module, you should be very clear about the difference between effort and duration. Then, okay, we have something like bottom-up estimation. So that you should be very clear, and at the end of this session you'll be very clear about alternatives analysis, and you'll appreciate what is a resource calendar, and you will be able to develop a resource breakdown structure, and maybe you'll be able to identify and evaluate project constraints. Coming back to effort and duration, now let's say if two persons are working on an activity for 8 hours full time. So if there is an activity like this here, and if there are two resources working on it, let's say R1 and R2 is working on it for 8 hours. In this case, the duration is 8 hours, 8 hours duration, and the effort will be 2 into 8, that is 16 person hours are spent on it. So effort is 16 and duration is 8 calendar days, or 1 calendar day, which is 8 hours of duration, and the effort is 16 hours of effort two persons put together they are putting onto it. Then comes this bottom-up estimation. So here we are talking about bottom-up estimation. So starting from the statement of work got expanded into scope, and which got decomposed into a work breakdown structure. So now at this stage, now we have this WBS, and we have the estimates at the work package level as well, which is the lowest level in a WBS we called as a work package. So so if you estimated this part, then if I can add up, I'll get the estimates for this. Now below these work packages, we decompose them into activities. So if I estimate at the activity level and then roll up, I get the estimate at this level. If I add up the estimates for this and then roll up, I get the estimates at this level. And if I add up the estimates at this level and roll up, I get this. So this process we call as a bottom-up estimation. Then alternatives analysis. While doing the estimate, we'll be constantly looking for alternatives. Maybe instead of concrete or wood, can we use plastics, or steam curing versus normal curing. Expensive resources can be replaced with inexpensive resources. So here we are talking about an example where you're talking about an example where when I'm constructing my house, I was insisting on having a swimming pool for my house, but then the architect was hell-bent on not giving it to me. Initially I argued with him, but then he was doing it for my own benefit. So he said, no problem. See, if you take a club membership, based on my frequency of use of a swimming pool, which is hardly 10 times a year, he could not justify me owning a swimming pool. So he was recommending taking a premium club membership, which is much cheaper than having my own swimming pool and then maintaining it. That's an example of alternatives analysis. Then resource calendar. So if you have configured any software scheduling tools, when we get a new license of the software scheduling tool, what we do is, okay, we bring it, then we create a company calendar where we define the company's annual holidays and monthly, no, the holidays, everything is blocked out. And for the remaining days only, it is factored into as available days for scheduling. So first we define resource calendar, and this is applicable for every major resources or high value equipment or tools used for the project, because these things may be booked by other projects as well. And whenever somebody else has booked that particular facility or equipment, then those dates should be blocked as not available. And only the balance days are available for the project under consideration. So this we call as a resource calendar. Resource breakdown structure. Once we know the work breakdown structure, for the same work breakdown structure, we can always develop a resource breakdown structure. We call it as RBS. The hierarchical structure of the identified resources by resource category and resource types. So that is a resource breakdown structure. So the next one, then comes project constraints. Whenever we talk about projects, we are talking about different project constraints, like start no earlier than. So don't start a training program before 9 o'clock, because people will say they'll come, and then obviously there will be latecomers. They start no earlier than. That's an example for that. Start no later than. Don't ever start a construction project in South India after May, because it could be raining. Finish no later than. Don't stop a training program after 6:30 p.m. if it is happening in India, because people may sit through the training, but then most of the things will be going above their head, so it will not be effective. Finish no later than. Don't stop a construction project after May, especially the externals of a house, because it may be raining very, very heavily. So these things will help us to come out with a schedule which is practical in all aspects. So that is application of project constraints. Start no earlier than, start no later than, finish no earlier than, and finish no later than. So these things need to be factored into while drawing your final schedule. Otherwise, we'll get a beautiful schedule which is not implementable. Thank you.